This is Wright Brennan with the Lost in the Midlands podcast, brought to you by Wright Roofing. And today I'm here with Mr. David Tanner of the Midlands Christian Directory. David's a man of faith, a businessman, and an amazing networker. David, thanks for coming and hanging out.
Thanks, Wright. That's a lot to live up to.
Look, we're all trying to live up to the standards that you're setting for us. So we appreciate you, all the work you're doing in the community. And I do look forward to hearing about the network and the directory itself. But before we get there, I'd like for the audience to hear a little bit about your background, kind of how you got to this amazing point.
Okay.
Are you from here? Or?
Oh, yeah. Grew up in Lexington, went to Lexington High School.
Right on.
Spent a couple of years at Clemson. They invited me to leave and go back to Carolina, where I graduated in business in '83. Yeah. So I've lived here all my life. Grew up in church, been in church all my life, been in business here all my life. Was a financial advisor for about 30 years.
Wow. And
kind of gradually worked my way out of that business about 10 years ago, and just kind of fell into doing the Midlands Christian Directory by accident. I was looking for a Christian-owned coffee shop in Lexington, and this was when apps were starting to get real big on phones, you know.
Cool.
And I said, there needs to be an app. There needs to be a Christian app to find Christian-owned businesses, and there wasn't one. So I didn't know what I didn't know. I thought if I put up a website and started putting Christian businesses on it that I knew, people would come and find it. And I didn't realize that's not how it works. Just because you have a website doesn't mean people are going to find it. So it was a steep curve learning about, Google and SEO and social media and all that stuff to, try to get the word out. And that was 2014. So
that was 2014 when this was brainchild. Wow.
Yeah.
So you've been playing with the algorithm for 12 years to get the Christian business network together. That's awesome.
I'm from Lexington County. There's no algorithm.
There's no algorithm. That's awesome. So you were looking at starting a Christian coffee shop?
No. I had been. I'm a coffeeholic. It's the Christian drug of choice, by the way. So.
Right.
I was like, I drink so much coffee. I need to be supporting, a Christian coffee shop.
I see. Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of all these big corporate guys that are trying to tear America down. I didn't want to be financially supporting these big corporations that seem to hate America with everything they do. Yeah. So I was just looking for a local Christian-owned coffee shop, and come to find out, we were going to the Harvest Church at the time. Yeah. And somebody told me, they said, the Haven on Main Street in Lexington, it's actually owned by a lady named Kelly Limehouse that we went to church with. So it made me think, how many times are there Christians that want to do business with other Christians and they just don't know who they are or how to find them? Yeah. So that was kind of the thing was, well, I know how to put up a website, but that was about all I knew.
So it started with a website.
Started with a website.
Okay. It certainly has morphed since then. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. It's still, if you go to the website, the first thing you're going to see is, list a drop-down box, whether you're looking for a church or a business or a ministry. Yeah. Drop down and then hit the tab of whatever you're looking for. And we've got businesses in most of the categories now. So whatever you're looking for, we have. But in 2024, I just said, God, I've been doing this 10 years. Yeah. Is this me or is this you? Because it's not really, nobody still knows about it. And I mean, sometimes you just got to have those conversations with God and say, hey, if it's me, I can find something else to do if this was my dream. But if it's your dream, then, we need to get better at this. Because it was a struggle. 10 years in, nobody knew about it. As God usually does. He motivated me to go start networking, which I'd never done. I'm 65 now, so I was 63 then. Yeah. I'd never done networking. Because in my business, it was all referral based, so I didn't have to. And so started just going to local networking meetings, Coffee Talk, which is Irmo Chamber event, Morning Mix, which is Lexington Chamber event, just going to a bunch of free networking places and people would say, "Oh, you do what? Oh, that's pretty cool. Tell me more." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So 10 years of doing it my way versus 2 years of doing it God's way, and now it's been amazing the last 2 years how it's grown and how people have really supported our networking meetings. We have once a month we meet the second Thursday of the month at 8 a.m. out at Columbia International University. It's open to anybody that wants to show up. You don't have to be a member. We have about 100 people there, give or take 10 or 20 one way or the other. And then every other month, just last year we started a second meeting, and every other month we meet the last Wednesday of the month at Residence Inn, either in West Columbia or in Irmo. And we flip-flop that every other month based on availability of the hotel. Frank Rakowski, everybody knows Frank. Everybody that does a networker knows Frank. They graciously allow us to use those Marriott properties.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we pack those lobbies out. We usually have 100 people there.
Yeah.
And it's really been a blessing. I've just watched God drop the places into the people into place. Frank loves doing networking. He loves talking. He loves being the center of attention. I hate it. So that's like, awesome. Let's team up and do this thing. Same way out at CIU. The ladies there at CIU, they run the meeting. They do everything. All I have to do is just show up and talk for about 30 seconds, which suits me fine. So it's amazing what God can do when you get out the way.
Well, the networking that occurs at those, I've attended, and it's fantastic networking. And I like how you guys weave in the faith stuff, because obviously you're not going to get that elsewhere. Can you talk a little bit about how that happens at these networking events?
Yeah. So it's mainly open networking, which I like. Our CIU event, we have a big enough room to where everybody can be seated for a short period of time.
Right. And
we just go around the room and everybody just stands up and tells what their name is and what they do. That takes about 15 minutes. We have another 5-minute devotion that's business related. So we spend about 20 minutes sitting down. And then once everybody's gone around the room, then you know who's there and who you want to target. And then after that, it's open networking. Funny story, like I said, you don't have to be a member to join. And we're about connecting people. We're not about, I know both you and I are both in BNI, which is a leads organization. That's why you join BNI, to get leads.
For sure.
We're not a leads organization. We're a networking organization.
Yeah.
We want to connect people to be able to create relationships to not only help them in their business, help them in their faith, help them in their family. Whatever you need a connection for, we want to be that resource. If it results in business, that's great. We hope it does. We think it will. I always tell people when they want to join, I say, don't join because you think you're going to get business. If you want that, you need to join BNI.
Yeah.
And I was telling that this handyman that had come to one meeting, and he said, I want to join. And so I'm meeting with him the next week, and I'm saying, now don't join because you think you're going to get business. You might not. He said, well, I got 3 leads my first meeting, so that's why I'm joining. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, wow, really? That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So, but our main focus is letting Christian business owners know that their business is their ministry. The Bible isn't just for Sunday. It's our guide. It's our instruction book for 7 days a week, 24/7, 365. Yeah. And that applies to our business probably more than anything, because you'll touch people in your business that your pastor will never touch. Yeah. I mean, you're out there in the trenches every day. You're out there with a roofing crew every day when it's 100 degrees in August, and it's tough. And that's the real world. Yeah. You need to be a business owner that's almost like a pastor to your business. I think that's why God puts people in certain places, because they can care for other people. And that's how I look at business owners. You're the pastor of your business. We can come alongside a business owner and get them to realize that and get them to start walking in that. We can change this tide. We can turn this thing around and make a difference. And so that's kind of my passion.
I was going to ask, I can tell that seems to be something
that pushes
really,
my button.
That pushes your button. That's fantastic, and what a need!
Yeah.
What a need for business owners, and such a unique space that you guys have that does that. I mean, it's nowhere else can you kind of get that type of involvement. What types of businesses are in? I mean, is it? Give me the gamut. You mentioned handyman, roofers,
handyman, roofers, social media, plumbing, heating and air,
right.
web development. I'm just trying to go down the list. Nutritionist.
Yeah.
Working on a doctor right now. I'm hoping I can get her in pretty quick.
Cool.
Because she's really into she's an MD, but she's into the natural, doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Before big pharma kind of took everything over. Sorry, all you big pharma people. But anyway, yeah, whatever you need, we've got. So whatever you're looking for, come to the directory, MidlandsChristianDirectory.com. Come to the directory and find what you're looking for. We also publish 150 sermons a week. If a church puts their sermon on YouTube, we'll pull it in and put it on our website. That's a resource for community newcomers. If somebody's new, just moved here, and they're looking for a church, they can preview 150 different church services every week.
All different denominations.
Different denominations.
Cool.
There's, believe it or not, I couldn't believe this when I found this out. In Richland and Lexington County, there's 750 churches in Richland and Lexington County.
Wow.
750. So we pull in about 150 of them, because that's all I have time to do every week, that put their services on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hopefully, as we grow and we bring on more members and the finances allow us, we can grow that amount of sermons to everybody. That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
So yeah, our members pay our bills. Anybody that's a Christian business owner that wants to be a part of what we're doing, we'd love to have you. They pay our bills to be able to do the networking meetings, to be able to do the sermons. We try to give our members some love on social media too.
Yeah.
And we've got some social media people in our that are members that are really good at that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So
additional resources.
Yeah.
As a benefit to the members.
And so they've been kind of helping me and teaching me, all these things that old guys like me don't know.
I feel like you're doing a great job, so kudos to you getting it done. Somebody out there is thinking about getting involved somehow, some way, a business owner. What's the first thing? Just come to a meeting?
Yeah, just come to a meeting. It's open networking. Just come. You don't have to be a member. If you want to shoot me an email at midlandsdirectory@gmail.com, I'll be glad to put you on our email list to send you invites for every meeting.
Right. What's the cost of that to come to a meeting?
Nothing. No, it's free. Yeah.
Can you get fed?
Yeah. We do. So his radio and CIU, they sponsor our breakfast meetings.
Wow.
So they pay for some of the bills for our breakfast meeting. Our lunch meetings, we usually have pizza because it's easy, and we're in the hotel lobby, so we don't want people messing it up too bad. So pizza's kind of easy.
Everybody loves pizza.
Pizza and pasta and cookies.
Right on.
But yeah, it's free. And then we'll usually have a lunch sponsor that'll help us pay for that, and they'll get like a 5 or 10 minute commercial. I understand you might be doing that sometime pretty soon. So it's on video now, so you got to do it.
Fair enough. Yeah, look, we want to be a part of the community.
But yeah, come be a part of the meetings. And if you want to talk about joining, we'd love to have you, but that's not a requirement.
Cool. All right. So what's coming up down the pipe? Any new things happening on the website, events?
Yeah, we've got this member that for 2 years, Edwin Girasse of Giraffe Marketing. You ever heard of that guy?
I've heard of him.
He's been hassling me for 2 years to start a discount page, kind of like a perks page.
Oh, I love it.
And it's a good idea. He's all right. Edwin's all right. So we're going to start a perks page. It's going to be only for our members. So any of our members that want to give a perk, a certain amount off, a discount, whatever, we're going to have a page that's just exclusively for our members, by our members. And So we've got a couple of local magazines that have already told us they would give us a pretty good discount on magazine ads. I know Edwin's going to give us a tremendous discount. If you need social media posting, give Edwin a shout. He's the man on that. He's going to give us a great discount. So make sure you join the Midlands directory before you call Edwin.
Before you call Edwin.
And you can get a better deal like that.
Right on. What a cool additional benefit to the members. You guys really stacking it up. So I look forward to being part of that as well.
Yeah.
That sounds super cool. And where can we find you guys? How do we go about seeing the information? Website?
Yeah. Website, midlandschristiandirectory.com. And my email is midlandsdirectory@gmail.com. David Tanner, publisher, founder, secretary, janitor.
The man.
Yes. Better at some of those jobs than others.
David, it's been awesome to get to know you. You're really doing some awesome stuff in the community, and appreciate all the hard work you're doing. Hey, thanks for coming on the show and telling us your story too. So.
Yeah, very cool, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. Well.